I don't think people understand the true scale of World War II. Please subscribe to our channel and leave a like if you enjoy the content. World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, engulfed the globe from 1939 to 1945. It was a war that saw unprecedented levels of destruction and loss of life affecting nearly every nation on Earth. Nations clashed on land, at sea, and in the air. The scale of the conflict was immense, with battles raging across continents and oceans. Millions perished, victims of combat, genocide, and unimaginable brutality. The horrors of concentration camps and the devastation of entire cities left scars that would last for generations. The war's impact continues to resonate, shaping the geopolitical landscape and reminding us of the fragility of peace. The formation of the United Nations was a direct response to the need for a platform to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. From the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of the Pacific, the war touched every corner of the world. Each battle, each campaign, was a testament to the global nature of this conflict. It tested the limits of human endurance and the very definition of humanity. The resilience of those who lived through it, both soldiers and civilians, is a testament to the human spirit. In the face of tyranny, ordinary individuals rose to extraordinary heights of courage and sacrifice. Their stories of bravery and resistance continue to inspire us today. This global conflict left an indelible mark on human history. The images and stories from that time are etched into our collective memory. It reshaped national borders, sparked technological advancements, and gave birth to new international alliances. The world that emerged from the ashes of World War II was profoundly changed. The echoes of World War II serve as a stark warning against the dangers of unchecked aggression and the importance of safeguarding peace. The lessons learned from this conflict continue to guide international relations and peacekeeping efforts to this day. The roots of World War II ran deep, entangled in the unresolved tensions of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles, meant to ensure lasting peace, instead sowed the seeds of resentment and instability. Germany, burdened by crippling reparations and territorial losses, became fertile ground for extremist ideologies. The global economic depression of the 1930s further exacerbated these tensions. Economic hardship fueled political instability, paving the way for the rise of totalitarian regimes in Germany, Italy, and Japan. These regimes, driven by aggressive expansionism and a thirst for power, posed a growing threat to the existing world order. In Germany, Adolf Hitler and his Nazi Party capitalized on national humiliation and economic despair. Preaching a toxic blend of nationalism, anti-Semitism, and racial superiority, Hitler promised to restore Germany to its former glory. His expansionist ambitions, outlined in his manifesto Mein Kampf, would have dire consequences for the world. On September 1, 1939, the world watched in horror as German forces stormed across the Polish border. The invasion was swift and brutal, catching the Polish defenders off guard and overwhelming them with sheer force. This act of unprovoked aggression marked the beginning of World War II. The German military, utilizing their advanced tactics and machinery, quickly gained ground, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Poland, caught between Germany and the Soviet Union, became the first victim of Hitler's blitzkrieg, a lightning war strategy that relied on speed, mobility, and overwhelming force. The Polish forces, though brave and determined, were no match for the relentless German advance. France and Great Britain, bound by treaty to defend Poland's independence, declared war on Germany on September 3rd. Their declarations were a formal response to the aggression, signaling the start of a broader conflict. However, their response was slow and largely ineffective. Despite their declarations, the Allies were unprepared for the speed and ferocity of the German assault, and their initial efforts did little to halt the advance. The phony war, a period of relative inactivity on the Western Front, had begun. This lull in the fighting gave the Germans time to consolidate their gains and prepare for further offensives. Meanwhile, Poland, facing a two-pronged attack from Germany and the Soviet Union, fell within a month. The combined might of these two powerful nations was too much for Poland to withstand. The invasion of Poland shattered any illusions of peace and ushered in a new era of global conflict. The world was now plunged into a war that would last for 6 long years and change the course of history. The world watched with bated breath as the dogs of war were unleashed, forever altering the course of the 20th century. The events of September 1939 set the stage for a conflict that would engulf nations and reshape the global order. Germany's blitzkrieg tactics proved devastatingly effective in the early years of the war. In the spring of 1940, German forces swept through Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg, shattering the illusion of neutrality and sending shockwaves across Europe. The Battle of France, a pivotal moment in the war's early stages, commenced in May 1940. German forces outmaneuvered their French and British counterparts, exploiting weaknesses in their defenses and utilizing superior air power. Within 6 weeks, France, once considered a formidable military power, had fallen. The fall of France was a crushing blow to the Allied cause. It left Great Britain isolated and vulnerable, facing the full might of the German war machine. The world held its breath, wondering if Britain could withstand the Nazi onslaught. With France defeated, Germany turned its attention to Great Britain. The Battle of Britain, a pivotal air campaign, raged in the skies over England throughout the summer and fall of 1940. The German Luftwaffe, seeking to gain air superiority, launched relentless bombing raids on British cities and military installations. However, the Royal Air Force, aided by a sophisticated radar system and the unwavering courage of its pilots, fought back with fierce determination. The Battle of Britain, a testament to British resilience, marked a turning point in the war. Germany's failure to defeat Britain prevented a full-scale invasion and bought valuable time for the Allies to regroup. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front, Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union in June 1941 opened up a new theater of war, one that would prove to be the deadliest and most brutal of the entire conflict. Section 6. A Day of Infamy, Pearl Harbor, and the Global Conflict. On December 7, 1941, the course of World War II was irrevocably altered when Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The attack, intended as a preemptive strike against the United States Pacific Fleet, plunged America into the war. The images of burning ships and American casualties shocked the nation and galvanized public opinion in favor of war. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, addressing a joint session of Congress, declared December 7th a date which will live in infamy and called for a declaration of war against Japan. With America's entry into the war, the conflict truly became global. The United States, with its vast industrial capacity and manpower, would play a decisive role in the Allied victory. Section 7. Turning the Tide D-Day and the Liberation of Europe. On June 6, 1944, a date etched in history as D-Day, Allied forces launched a massive amphibious assault on the beaches of Normandy, France. This daring operation, codenamed Operation Overlord, marked the beginning of the long-awaited liberation of Western Europe from Nazi occupation. Under a barrage of naval and air bombardment, Allied troops stormed ashore, facing fierce resistance from entrenched German defenders. Despite heavy casualties, the Allies secured a foothold on the continent, establishing a crucial second front that would eventually lead to Germany's defeat. The liberation of Paris in August 1944, and the subsequent advance of Allied forces into Germany, signaled the beginning of the end for the Nazi regime. The war in Europe was nearing its conclusion. Section 8. The Pacific Theater Island Hopping and the Atomic Bomb. While the war raged in Europe, a fierce and brutal conflict unfolded in the Pacific Theater. The United States, engaged in a bitter struggle against Japan, adopted a strategy of island hopping, capturing strategically important islands to establish air bases and cut off Japanese supply lines. Battles such as Iwo Jima and Okinawa were characterized by intense fighting, heavy casualties, and unwavering courage on both sides. As the war neared its end, the United States faced a difficult decision: launch a costly invasion of mainland Japan, or seek an alternative means to end the war. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 brought a swift and controversial end to World War II. The use of these devastating weapons ushered in the atomic age and raised profound moral and ethical questions that continue to resonate today. Section 9. A World Transformed. Legacy and Remembrance. World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, left an indelible scar on the world. The sheer scale of the devastation was unprecedented, affecting nearly every corner of the globe. Millions lay dead, victims of combat, genocide, and unimaginable brutality. The human cost was staggering, with entire communities wiped out and countless lives forever altered. Cities lay in ruins, economies shattered, and the political landscape forever altered. The rebuilding process was long and arduous, requiring immense effort and international cooperation. The war's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It reshaped nations, redrew borders, and redefined global power structures. It led to the creation of the United Nations, an international organization dedicated to maintaining peace and preventing future conflicts. The UN became a beacon of hope for a war-weary world. It sparked technological advancements that would shape the post-war world. Innovations in medicine, engineering, and communication emerged from the crucible of war, and it forced humanity to confront the depths of its own capacity for evil. The Nuremberg trials brought war criminals to justice and set a precedent for international law. The horrors of the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews by the Nazi regime, served as a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and intolerance. Memorials and museums worldwide ensure that these atrocities are never forgotten. The war's lessons continue to resonate today, urging us to remember the past, safeguard peace, and strive for a more just and equitable world. The sacrifices made by those who lived through this dark chapter in history must guide our actions and decisions for a better future.